Hello,
Hello.
opening video. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. And you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, very welcome, Denise Zmekhol, to the festival, ArchFilm Festival. We are so happy to have you here tonight.
Thank you. I wish I could be there.
Yeah, we just saw your wonderful film. Can you tell me a little bit about the title? Because it's a very poetic title, Skin of Glass. How did you
Mhm.
do this? What does it mean for you?
So, in a way, it's funny because Skin of Glass is a translation from Pele de Vidro, which is the nickname in architecture for curtain wall design in Brazil. So that's how they call the buildings. They are built with this technology where the glass is separate from the structure of the building. So instead of saying curtain wall in English, they say pele de vidro, because it was one of the first buildings that had more than one curtain wall facade in Brazil. And, amazing design for the time was 1960, 61. So it was a very special building.
Yeah. And for you personally, what does it mean, the skin of glass? Well,
Well, I think it means it has so many metaphors around that because the glass can contain anything, right? A perfume, a poison, anything. And the skin is like our protection, and in a way it can, the glass can also break. So it's all these different feelings like, it's fragile, but at the same time it contains a lot and it protects. So it has kind of antagonic metaphors to me, the protection, but also it can break, it's you can see through. So there's a sense of transparency.
I'm also wondering a little bit about the background. From the beginning, did you think about making a film of your father, or was it about a social project? And when did everything start?
Yeah, great question. Because when I started making the film in 2017, that's when I found out, the building was occupied. So I just went to Brazil to get inside the building and try to find my father inside the building in a way, his artistry, but also to meet the people in the building and talk to them and know why they're there, where did they come from. So I was curious to tell their stories. So that was my first intention in 2017. And as you know, like I couldn't get in. So 6 months after I start filming, the building caught fire, right? And was gone. So I lost everything. I lost the connection. I thought I had lost the connection with the people, but I lost the building. I lost my father inside the building. So when I met the people at the encampment, I was very happy to ironically see that the walls that were protecting them or separating us was gone, and we could finally, meet each other and talk to each other. So yeah, it was totally unexpected, that was going to be that way. So, and then after the building caught fire and everything happened, I felt like the film had to be a little more personal because it really hit me, in so many ways because, people died, people lost, the place they were living, the city lost this landmarked building. And in a way, I lost that search for my father, that reconnection I was looking for. So I should maybe start opening my heart for all these personal stories and connections with my father and tell the story from this point of view and keep opening and opening until you get to the social, political, and yeah, that was the idea in the beginning, and it got transformed with the fire.
Was it difficult to be personal in a film like this?
Yeah, super. It's very difficult. It's very difficult because you never know how much the audience wants to know and how much you should tell and how much is important and relevant to the story. So in the beginning, I think a lot of people are saying, no, tell me more, like my editor. And I was like, no, it's too much, too much. People, who cares, And then we had to have like screenings with people that didn't know me. So just I could feel if they had any interest in learning about my personal story with my father. And it was amazing because they did, and they were touched by it. So we're trying to balance, because after I tell my personal story, the film has to move on to bigger issues, and I couldn't keep going with my personal story because it wasn't relevant anymore.
How do you have patience actually during this process? Are there moments that you are feeling, okay, I get rid of it, I will leave everything, and how do you manage to go through
No,
this?
I'm very persistent. I mean, there are times I was like, the way we raise money for films in the US is very like, little by little. So it took me 6 years, and it took me at least 4 years to prove that the film, was important, was worth making for bigger players to come, So by the time I got the American Broadcast Foundation support, was like I had a good rough cut. But I never felt like I wanted to give up. I just felt tired and exhausted at times, like I am now after finishing everything. But I was always like, I believed that, something was happening and was important to keep, nurturing the film. Here I live in Berkeley, in California. And traveling with the film was really amazing, has been very amazing, because it has been like a year, since we started like October last year. So it has been super nice to see how people in different countries are connecting, different cultures. So we went to Cuba and went to China, I went to Europe, Canada, US, and in Cuba I was like, I think this film is not, I don't know if it's gonna work here. And they felt impacted with the personal story, and they felt proud that they didn't have people living in the street. So there's always something for everyone in this film, because it has lots of layers, right?
Yeah, many layers. That's
Yeah,
why
many
it's an
layers.
interesting film actually.
So I'm finally going to Brazil next week. We're
Mhm.
going to have our premiere at the Rio Festival in the middle of October, and then in São Paulo, where the story belongs. And I think I'm very, I'm anxious to see how people are going to react to their own stories, because when the building caught fire was in the news every day for months, because that encampment where the people are living was there for 3 months. So, every day there's something about the story in the news. So now we have a governor and a mayor that are kind of in the right.
Mm.
And so people are a little more afraid of occupying buildings. But, the organizations who are for, low income housing are really active, and trying to pressure the government to maybe get these buildings that are abandoned in the city, even public buildings that are abandoned, to become a home for people who are homeless, who don't have a house. So the movement is active, but the occupations are less active now, the act of occupying the building. Yeah.
I was also wondering, when you do a lot of interviews, do you have some question that you really want to answer, or that people ask you?
People are always curious about the shot of the fire, the drone shot.
Yeah.
It's more like people want to ask me, yeah, because it's kind of amazing shot, and it was just a coincidence that someone was making a short film about it, and about the city. It was a fiction film, and the drone was gonna go to the city and come back to the rooftop, and they're gonna just wave to the camera, right? And then they saw the fire and they kept going, and that was so amazing too. I just want to say that I had to open my heart in such unexpected ways when I was making this film. When I saw the building for the first time, I was really shocked, and I was very honest how I felt, about everything, and how I had a change of heart when I realized, well, yeah, there's no place for these people to live. The building has no social function. The building is empty. So, I was really having this transformation, and I feel very transformed by the film, and it was very healing too. It was very nice.
What do you want to do after this actually?
I'm loving going to all these architecture and art film festivals. It's such a different energy and crowd and people, and so inspiring. I really love it. I'm thinking maybe I should do another film about architecture. But also we're working already on a book about my father, about the journey of making this film and occupations. It's going to be like 3 big chapters. I have another author who wrote a book about Lina Bobardi, the Italian-Brazilian architect. And so we have been planning to make this book happen since the beginning of the film. Actually, it was going to be a book, and then I decided to make a film. So I put the book on hold, and now we're going back to the book and looking for publishers. And I think it'd be very interesting to kind of tell the story how the film, developed and happened, because it's such a unique story. I couldn't have written, right? But of course, I want to make more films, and so I'll do some search on stories about art and architecture. If you have any ideas, let me know.
Yeah, I think we could talk for a long time, but we cannot talk so very long because we have a ArchFilmPrize, and this ceremony will start now.
And now is the time for the ArchFilm Prize 2024. And this year's prize goes to Skin of Glass by Denise Zmekhol.
Wow. Wow, that's so sweet. I'm so honored and happy. Thank you so much. Wow. See, oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, Emily. Thank you all for this honor, Beautiful.
Congratulations to the prize.
Thank you so much. And I just want to mention that if anyone has questions or want to be in touch, to go to skinofglass.com and send me questions or comments, and I'll be happy to engage and connect and respond. And I'm so happy that we had this opportunity. Thank you for the award. I'm really, really moved and very honored and humbled to receive it. Thank you so much.